Welcome dear students. This is my fourth video on topic corrosion. In this video we are going to focus on the prevention of corrosion. The prevention of corrosion can be done by following various steps. The first major thing we should focus is design of the structure. We'll discuss one by one in detail, and the material selection. The cathodic protection is one of the method by which we can protect our base metal. And under cathodic protection, we have two methods. One is sacrificial anodic protection, and the other one is impressed current cathodic protection. Another technique we can follow is polarization. We can protect the anode, which is called passivation, and alteration of the environment by using some inhibitors we can also prevent the corrosion. We'll discuss one by one. So design of the structure. I'll show you the pictures so that you can understand instead of just going through the points. So if you can look at these two structures, this base metal dilution can be avoided by making a connection between the regular steel with the stainless steel in this manner instead of just putting into the inside the structure. And this is one of the corrosion where we can observe the crevice corrosion, where the sharp edges leads to the corrosion at this area where oxygen availability is less. This comes under differential aeration corrosion. So this can be prevented by using a gasket like this. This is preferred one. And another type is wherever the structures have these sharp edges like this or like this, or as shown in this figure, these areas are stagnant areas. If we use these type of containers for any chemicals, there is a chance that the chemical may be stored in that particular area, and it may leads to the corrosion. And instead of these structures, we can go for this type of shape where the corrosion can be prevented. And this is also another type of model for inlets. This is one inlet which is in this shape, and where we use the agitator. This is another shape. An inlet can have this type of model so that the liquid can be easily enter into this, and this is preferred one. And instead of keeping the agitator in this direction, we can use a heating coil in this way and the agitator in this direction, so that the liquid can be properly heated up, and we can prevent the corrosion of that particular metal also. And this is a galvanic coupling. We know that two dissimilar metals are connected with each other. It leads to the corrosion of one of them active metal or more oxidation metal. And to avoid such type of coupling directly, we can go for this type of model where both can be coupled by using a plastic. And another model where the crevice corrosion, where the sharp edges may lead to the corrosion at this particular areas, we can prevent it by using this type of model. Even if it is bent, it is much better. And these are also a few other models where we can avoid the direct contact or the stressed areas between two metals. So first one thing what we need to follow is the proper design of a machine, whatever the apparatus it is. And another technique, I discussed the cathodic protection and other techniques in another video. Just please refer. And in this video, I'm going to focus on electroplating and electroless plating. This electroplating is a method where we are going to protect a base metal by using some other metal. And for this process, we are using an electrolytic solution and anode which we want to coat on a base metal and using the current. So the process of deposition of base metal by using current by dipping that metal along with some other anodic metal in the suitable electrolytic solution is called as electroplating. The major uh, principle of this electroplating is if I want to coat copper on some other metal. I took an example as copper. I want to deposit copper on some other metal. That object, whatever it may be, I can take that object as the cathode, and anode can be of our choice. Anode can be copper, or else it can be any other inert metal which just conduct the electricity, and but our electrolyte should contain the ion which we want to deposit on our base metal, that is copper ion. So here I took copper sulfate solution, and in such a case, whenever power supply is given to the cell, then copper ions which are present in the electrolytic solution will move towards the cathode and accepts the electrons and converts into the copper solid, which can be deposited on the cathode, whatever our base metal is. And at the anode, if we took copper as our anode, the copper will react with the sulfate anions which are there in the electrolytic solution and produces the copper sulfate. As we took the anode the same as the solution what you have, then copper can dissolve, anode can dissolve and maintains the concentration of an electrolyte all the time. But if not, if we took any inert anode or any other noble metal, instead of this base metal what we want to coat on the base metal, simply the electrolyte is to be added after some interval. So here I'll show you the picture. This is my object what I want to coat with some other metal, and I took an electrolytic solution whatever I want to coat on our base metal as an electrolyte, and this anode can be any metal. As I told, it can be the base, it can be coating metal, or it can be any other metal. And in such a case, if I take any noble metal, I should add the electrolyte continuously, and then this just ionization takes place initially. The metal ion can go to the cathodic area and takes the electrons and deposited on this surface. And there are different factors which affects the electroplating. One is concentration of an electrolyte. The metal ions, whatever moves towards the cathode and undergoes reduction deposited on the surface of the cathode, if we need a uniform metal deposition, we need to maintain low concentration of the metal ion. And the thickness of the deposit is should be very minimum so that it can strongly adhere. And the current density per unit should be minimum, and then if we require any additives that can be added during the process of this electrode deposition, just to give the smooth finishing mirror look. And the electrolyte whatever we are taking should contain the ions what we want to coat on a base metal, and obviously that should have a good conductivity. And the pH of the electrolyte should also be maintained in order to get deposition efficiently. But all objects may not be deposited or coated by this method, due to maybe they may not be conductors. And for that such type of objects, we can go for the electroless plating, the method of deposition of a metal from salt solution on in the presence of a catalyst on the surface of any other base metal is called as a electroless plating. Means we are not using the electricity here, instead we are using some catalyst. In presence of the catalyst, the reducing agent can make our base metal to undergo reduction, and then that reduces to the metal which can be deposited on the surface of our the object whatever it is. The process is called as chemical plating or autocatalytic plating. So as I told, we use two chemicals more instead of the electricity. One is the reducing agent and the other one is the catalyst. So this reducing agent can make our metal to undergo a reduction and form as a metal which can be deposited on our object. So here I'm taking the example of nickel electroless plating where the coating solution contain nickel chloride solution and the reducing agent is sodium hypophosphite, and the buffer can be added to maintain the pH also, that is sodium acetate, and complexing agent can be added which is sodium succinate, and we need to maintain the pH and 4.5 and the temperature we need to maintain. And whenever we add this reducing agent along with our electrolytic solution, the cathode will take, at the cathode, nickel ions will take the electrons and deposited as nickel. And these electrons are released by the sodium hypophosphite, which is our reducing agent. If this at anode, this upon reaction with the water, it just releases the two electrons, and the two electrons were moving towards the cathode and accepted by the nickel ion and produces the nickel. Electroless plated nickel objects have better corrosion resistance, and deposits are non-porous and they are hard and wear resistant. As this method is applicable to any with the different shapes of objects. Thank you. Please refer the cathodic protection methods also, which are given in my previous video. Thank you.